Hi everyone, Bernard here and I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to my latest Citizen channel feature. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button and push the bell notifications as well so you know when these vlogs are coming out, and of course do lots of stuff city past and city present, so please push that notification button. Make sure your notification set to public as well, don't forget, otherwise you won't get to know, but press that subscribe button. Please check out my links on screen as well for Facebook and Twitter, and also don't forget I've got a little film and TV channel on YouTube as well, so if you want to have a little break from football, check that out. And of course on Facebook and Twitter I will check every few days and follow and friend everyone back on there. And also don't forget I'll have a sort of links with Losing Business on Twitter. They promote city fan related small businesses, local businesses which need our help perhaps more than ever these days, don't they? So please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if I can promote or put some stuff out for you on one of my magazine vlogs, my city magazine vlogs. And don't forget, I'll always give a shout out to local projects or charities, etc, etc. Just get in touch. Anyway, please enjoy today's Citizen channel feature. Thank you. This is a moment in time, yeah, whatever the theme, whether it's a match or a player or even an event, or perhaps like today a publication. Yeah, it's always a snapshot I like to do in these moments in time, like the players in time. A snapshot at a certain time in our great, it could be a day, it could be a month, it could be a period in our great club Manchester City. Today's snapshot, yeah, it's a little bit different to what I've normally done, but we're going to have a look at City, the official magazine of MCFC. Yeah, I'm going to look at the August 2005 edition. So obviously we're talking August, so we're talking mid-season, aren't we, or just before the 2005-2006 season. And of course the official City magazine has its roots right back to 1967. I think I've done a little thing on that in the past, but there's never ever a consistent magazine over the years, and obviously from that date we did get various versions of it. Of course the title changed once or twice. City sort of gave up, didn't they, altogether in August 2012 with the latest version and last version of MANC, M-A-N-C, that actually went out in August 2012, and the club stated that the magazine will continue within the matchday programme. So yeah, interesting enough, we may explore that in the future, but yeah, just thinking back to that time, looking at the programmes, yeah, they did attempt to put a more magazine-y feel to the match programme. Sadly, that obviously didn't last, did it? I mean, obviously we didn't get any last year and the year before. The programmes aren't fantastic at the moment, and they seem to have lost the way a little bit. But before, of course, this short-lived M.A.N.C. magazine only lasted 2 or 3 years, I think. One of the incarnations was, of course, simply called City, the official magazine of MCFC. So this 2005 August edition would have been available. Yeah, they weren't miles ahead. Usually in the magazine world, if something's August, you can get it early July. But I think with these City publications, it's only perhaps 2 or 3 weeks. So even though it's classed as August, it probably takes us up to the end of July with the information that's in the magazine. So it's quite good, actually. There's no actual matches to talk about. There's a couple of friendlies, of course, and a mid-season tour or a pre-season tour as well. But yeah, we'll have some stuff with signing on, who we've signed, interviews, and also there'll also be lots of different little, if you like, magazine features which you expect in this sort of thing. That perhaps during the season it's more in line with what's actually going on the pitch, but obviously out of season you do get a bit more history and a bit more looking back at things. It's 68 pages, made in Manchester, it claims, which is fair enough. It costed quite reasonable at the time, £2.50. I mean, they're putting one together now, you'd be talking £7, wouldn't you? At least £7, perhaps a little bit more. There's only a handful of advertising and sponsors in it, so obviously any income is sort of towards the magazine. They weren't getting much from sponsors and advertisers back on these issues of magazines, which is probably some of the problem with it. I'm not too sure. The contents page is good. It gives us a clue as to what bang we get for our buck. Interesting stuff. Reebok, of course. Lovely Reebok with the boys on the block. Thomas Cook was still the main sponsors then. And yeah, there was a great image there. The limited edition third shirt. Yeah, so how limited it was, I'm not sure. Not normally my favourite colour, yellow, but yeah, when you think of the 99 version of the City shirt, I thought I was with the yellow in, I thought I did like that, I must admit. And I sort of quite like this one as well. I don't know what you thought about it, but I never own one, but if you own one or you've got one, let me know. I just say I wondered how many they did actually make of it and how many they did actually sell of it. It's not something I see going to the matches much of, but I do like that one, I must admit. The editorial had a quick look at all the ins and outs. Of course, Stuart Pearce's City had just lost Shawnee Wright-Phillips. Well, for now anyway. We'd lost the GOAT. The GOAT had gone. But we did have a couple of interesting additions, obviously, featured in this magazine. With Andy Cole and of course Darius Vassell to lead the Stuart Pearce front line. Pearce is still relatively new as a boss. Was happy with these acquisitions and happy with the tour to Thailand that we took on. We would mention Yasser Hussein. We'll come back to him later, who we hope would have till Christmas, or hope we'd have till Christmas apparently, as he was an Ali Benabia recommendation, this young lad, and he did go on to play one competitive game. The 21st of September lost that season to Doncaster in round 2 of the League Cup, so not that greatest, but yeah, we lost on penalties in that one. Yeah, as I said, we might mention him later on as well. The Blue Planet's an interesting feature. It just has a mishmash of all football stuff, mainly City stuff, of course. I mean, you had Gary Neville there, that was nothing to do with City. You reckon United could go through this season unbeaten to go one better than Chelsea the previous season. Chelsea, they'd only lost one, I think, Chelsea the season before, and of course that season Chelsea and United would actually lose 5 games, but Chelsea won the league by 8 points. So Gary Neville, he's not improved much on his knowledge, has he really? Mikel Bischoff, yeah, he was still on the books. I saw his one and only game for City against TNS. You remember that one? He would eventually leave for Sheffield Wednesday the following March, but he was still on the books. Christian Negue was finally off the books. Yeah, Keegan's most exciting signing, he claimed at the time. He wasn't really, was he? Unfortunately, he moved to Standard Liège, so he'd gone. Gary James's new book, Manchester City, the official Hall of Fame book. Well, there you go. Was a prize. 5 copies up for grabs. I wish I'd had to go for that. I do have a copy, but I had to buy mine. $16.99 recommended retail price at the time. You could pick it up for about £3.28 now if you shop around. The ones that got away featured a Luis Figo, yeah, and apparently Brian Horton had the chance to sign this guy, and but we couldn't quite stump up the £2 million we needed to put that interest into it and actually make a bid for him. Global Blues caught up with ex-Blues playing their trade abroad, including Kavalashvili, remember him? Top Moller, I have no idea who Top Moller was. Allsop, Danny Allsop, Vikings, and many others as well. So that's a good little section. Room 101 looks at things we might want to forget. One of the things was triumphant returns. In other words, when ex-City players come back and do the dirty on us. So you can think of the people like Francis Lee for Derby County in older times, or Paul Dickoff for Leicester City. My lad never forgave him for that. Just 2 of the examples mentioned in Room 101, which is quite a good little piece. I might do something similar, who knows? Yeah, the Alfie bet. I mean, obviously, Mr. Alfie Haaland's give his name to this only because I think Alfie fits with Alphabet. I mean, I can't imagine he's there swatting away with his books. But yeah, so Alfie Haaland obviously gets linked with that. But as I say, I doubt very much he had much to do with putting the A to Z together. Robbie Fowler autobiography. There's one I've not got. Was due out, 18.99. I wonder how much he says about City. Probably not too much. But you can get that for £2.40 now at a certain websites at a certain price, so that's not too bad. Sean Golter had been dumped by Reading. How dare they? Who are Reading to dump Sean Golter? But of course, there's still going to be life in the old dog yet, wasn't there? And to finish this mishmash of information, the Blue Planet section, to finish the section, City were after a slogan. Now, I don't have the issue after this one, so I haven't got a clue what it was. But if you know it, please let me know. They're after a slogan of brilliant, inspirational words for the City players to put up in the dressing room. As I said, I don't know. You let me know if you can remember what won it, or you've got the magazine after this promised to tell us which slogan won. As you'd expect, we had the new articles on the new boys. So of course we expect the same sound bites from these players, don't you? Interesting times, wasn't it? Darius Vassell said it's certainly not a step down coming to City. He claimed it's a step up. There you go. Sorry, Aston Villa. I mean that's his words, not mine. And I'm looking forward to success here, he said. But a good sound bite, well said. Andy Cole was not quite as gushing, but he wasn't far behind. He was respectful of his previous teams. I'm fortunate to have played for some of the top clubs in the country, he said, but I'm fortunate again to come to another big club. Well said, Andy. Absolutely fantastic. I love these. They're never going to say, well, I couldn't do any better, so I've ended up here, could I? But there you go. It was farewell for our old Shawnee Wright, of course, and we had quotes from Kevin Keegan about how wonderful he was, and another Bezzy mate of Shawnee Wright's, Joey Barton. He probably kept out of his way, though. Kept a close eye on him, made sure he was behaving himself. But yeah, little quotes on that. As I said, we played in Thailand. There's a great picture of a big City fan, even to this day. He's always got nice things to say about City, hasn't he? Of course, Danny Mills. Yeah, tongue in cheek, that guys. Yeah. So there's a little bit on the matches in Thailand. We played in the Premier League Asia Cup over there. Thailand's under-23s took part. We didn't play them though, because that was the other semi-final. It was only 4 of us, so we went straight to a semi-final. We might even have a chance of winning. We didn't. Bolton and Everton were the other 2 teams involved. And there's some great images over in that 8-page special. Bolton beat us on pens, of course, in the semi-final. So we'll go to a 3rd place playoff with Everton. We drew 1-1. But fortunately, yes, we did win on penalties. So at least we got 3rd spot out of 4. So not a total disaster. I mean, there's a good history piece on City life, which looks at 1989, of course, including the demolition derby. So as I look back on the season, and of course, I have a look back at what tunes, what music's top of the charts, and what films are top of the charts for that year. I used to do that when I first started my little vlogs. When I looked at a certain year or period, I'll have to introduce that again. I sort of not really done that much recently. There was a small piece on the Oasis gig at the Etihad, or obviously it probably wasn't called the Etihad then, was it? It was a City of Manchester Stadium, was it? Or Eastlands, whichever we wanted to call it, that took place in July. Then we get an interesting one, yeah. First Gunner Regiment. There's the title. But yeah, a piece on Arsenal. Arsenal supporting Micah Richards. How dare he? And his aims for the season. I thought it was a dyed-in-the-wool blue from birth. Unbelievable. Of course, the Gunner would get a regular spot by around the end of February that season. So he had a little bit of a wait anyway. The top 25 young Lions. Yeah, that's a nice little article. Looks at City players who made it as young England internationals with some good graphics, some great graphics there. Full caps, career progression, whether it was yes or a career progression, whether it's a reverse, they didn't do very well. Unscaled heights, did they perhaps not match what they should have done potential wise? Did they move for big money? So some good, I like them graphics, I must admit. It sort of gives me ideas for my own little things. And the top 5 listed based on actual appearances for the young England international teams. Number 5 was Nicky Weaver with 10. Number 4 was Gary Owen with 10. But also Tommy Kate and Gary Flitcroft also had 10. But why Gary Owen and Nicky Weaver were class 5 and 4? I'm not too sure. I've not worked that out. I had a quick look. I couldn't figure it out. Number 3, Ray Ranson. Number 11 appearances. Number 2, Steve Redmond. 14 appearances. And number 1, yes, have you guessed it? Mike Sherron. Mike Sherron was number 1. There you go. I'm not so sure about that, but there you go. Soldier Blue, here we go. Soldier Blues are good. You get these in the programme. Looks at 19-year-old lad called Danny Warrender, whose dream is to play for the first team. Well, it didn't quite work out. He made 0 appearances for City, but he did play for Blackpool. He did play for Rossendale United, San Francisco Seals, FC United, Ramsbottom United and Salford City, and he sort of swapped and changed them last 3 clubs. He went from one back to another and back to another, but yeah, so he didn't quite make it at City, Mr. Danny Warrender, but he was okay. He didn't play a mass of games, but hey, at least he played football to get the game he loved. Lee Croft, gave his World 11, of course. Some strange ones in this. Cech was in goal, okay, a good goalie at the time. Cafu, Terry, Nesta, Ashley Cole, what? Shawnee Wright Phillips. This is his World 11, obviously. Stevie Gerrard, okay. Zidane, well, that's a bit more like it. Ronaldinho, yeah, but that's probably more like it. Ronaldo, Shevchenko, yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. But Lee, I mean, you've got some really weird ones in there, mate. I'm surprised you didn't put yourself in it. The story so far, great little section, has some great images and things about Trevor Sinclair from 1993 onwards. I don't recognise him in half the pictures with all that hair. And of course, with Shawnee on his way, we had a little page pick, a little A4 page of his brother Bradley Wright Phillips, who was hoping to fill his shoes. Well, not quite, it's a different sort of player, wasn't he? But yeah, he hung around for a little while, didn't he? There's a pre-match section, yeah, got us in the mood. This is August now, got us in the mood for a look at the start of the season with a little bit of trivia about fans, songs and the clubs, etc. And another graphic, like I had the graphics before, this is a very interesting one. A graphic of what's expected in the game. Yeah, this is something I might adapt to my preview vlog, so who knows. But he had an image of Father Time or Death as a bogey team. That's very, very good. I like that. Had an image of it, a Gallagher brother as let's have it. In other words, no problem. We're going to walk this game. We had Ronaldinho, of course. It's going to be a thriller. But what about Michael Jackson? Why couldn't you use Michael Jackson? I'm not too sure on that one. But Ronaldinho, it's going to be a thrilling game. A banana skin, yes, for a banana skin game where we could slip up. In other words. Oh, that's just a bit cruel on old Jimmy Hill, isn't it? Loads of Zs for sleeping, a picture of Jimmy Hill, so it's going to be a rubbishy game. That's not very nice on Jimmy. I quite like Jimmy Hill. And of course, standard fireworks, yeah, well, forgive the advertising, there are other brands available, but expect fireworks. So then perhaps lost a little bit on those, but I do like the graphics. I must admit they did very well. And looking at the first 4 games, how well did they do actually on this? I mean, they did say the West Bromwich Albion game at home would be a bogey game. Obviously, a picture of Father Time. It was a 0-0 draw, so yeah, probably was a bit of a bogey. It said Birmingham away would be an have it, so we'd win it. Yeah, we did. We won 2-1. It says Sunderland away would be a thriller. Yeah, thriller. It was. We won 2-1 again. And it said Portsmouth at home would be an have it. Yeah, and yes, we won it. He must have been top of the league, mustn't we? Three wins and a draw the first 4 games. It must have been happy days for Mr. Pearce. A couple of pre-season results and brief descriptions. 15th of July, a 1-0 win against, a 1-0 loss against Tranmere, the mighty Tranmere Rovers. And this was actually City's Shawn Wright Phillips' last appearance in a blue or white or dark blue or yellow. I'm not sure what kit it was, to be honest with you. We played in that night. Tranmere played dark blue, don't they? So it certainly wouldn't have been a dark blue kit. Might have been yellow, who knows? But that was his last official appearance for City, Shawn Wright Phillips. And, of course, a little image of Ishmael Miller. Yeah, Ishmael Miller. He did actually manage 17 appearances over his 2 or 3 seasons at City, so he did all right. 16th of July, we went to good old Macclesfield Town. Yes, and here he is. I did say we'd mention him again. Yasser Hussain features, and he scored our goal. Perhaps Ali Benabia was right about him all the time, but... well, not quite. Yeah, we had a couple of nice pages entitled United Nations as City's academy coaches went over to war-ravaged Kosovo at the time. Very brave souls to coach some youngsters in that sad area of the world. And of course, the last word, and a bit of humour. Yeah, there wasn't much humour in this magazine. I do like a little bit of humour in the magazines. But a James H. Reeve page, and it's always good for a bit of a laugh, James H. Reeve. Pardon me, lose my voice, who talks about Salford, about getting names wrong, but there you go, getting names wrong in print as well and having to apologise. Well, we've all been there, and sometimes I catch them on the edit, sometimes I don't, my apologies. But there you go, a great little mix, a great magazine, I thought, lots of mix of different stuff. I like the quirky graphic editions, I thought they're excellent. I might have to build something in similar to my little vlogs in the future, but yeah, a couple of the articles, of course, excellent. I did enjoy that. It's not going to, you're not going to spend hours reading it, of course, and it's not going to be appeal to everybody. A bit like my little magazine vlogs, some stuff people will like, some stuff perhaps won't appeal to certain people. But there you go. how they would incorporate all that information into the programmes from the 2012. It was interesting, but yeah, that's another story, isn't it? We'll perhaps touch upon that again. But yeah, I did like the City magazine and all its different guises, I must admit, and I do miss it. I can appreciate at the end of the day it became a thing that they couldn't make money out of, I assume, and so they just knocked it on the head. But obviously, I know they struggle with the programmes as well, but again, that's another thing. But then again, they don't really promote them that well, I don't think. But I think they increased the sale remarkably. They actually made more of an effort with them, the content, and making sure and getting them out there for people to buy as well. But similar with the magazines, I assume, there was a subscription page, but there's no real push. Like other clubs might do, and very few clubs will make profits on magazines these days. It's not, certainly I would imagine United and Liverpool make profits on their club programmes, and obviously there are some independent magazines and official magazines that are still going, which obviously are making money from. So obviously we're not we don't have the benefit of that worldwide subscription support level, do we, unfortunately? But there you go. As I said, I did like the magazine. Hope you enjoyed that anyway. This little moment in time, a snapshot of City's world in August 2005. Some good names there, some names brought back to your memories, hopefully. Let me know what any memories you got of any of those names we mentioned today. And of course, City's World, August 2005, with the help of City, the official magazine of Manchester City. Anyway, thanks for watching. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps have a look at my film and TV channel. I only ever ask one simple thing. Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.